Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. Today is going to be the making of this kimono, stylish kimono with v neckline and placket, as you can see on the screen. Okay, so I will be drafting this kimono, then we'll now transfer it to our fabric. Okay, I want to make a draft and transfer to the fabric instead of cutting directly on the fabric. So I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you who has been subscribing to the channel and staying by Simbright Fashion Academy channel as well. For those who are new to this channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comments on the comment section and suggestions as well. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's jump into this tutorial right away. So you can see on my paper here, I've already made my border lines and my vertical lines. I believe you know how we got our chest line, okay, and the waistline, hip. All measurements are taken right from the shoulder. Okay, placing your tape on the shoulder, I took my measurements from all the way to the shoulder. I got my chest line using my bust circumference, taking my tape around my bust, divide by 6, then I added 1.5 inches to it. Okay, and I have 8 inches as you can see here. Then I dropped my shoulder by 1 inch, and I have my normal natural neck of 3 inches by 3 inches, which is standard. So you can see that is how I got my chest line. Okay, so the result of what I have on the armhole depth, I added 1 inch to it, and I have my chest line. So you'll be seeing why we have this chest line right now. Okay, so right now I have my shoulder in here. I've taken the measurement of my shoulder, divided by 2, and I have 7.5 here. That is the 7.5 mark you have here. So from this point of my shoulder, I'm going to take the measurement of where I want the sleeve to stop. Okay, so I want this sleeve to pass a little bit my bicep. Okay, I have a bicep, that is what I mean is the largest part of my arm. Dropping my tape on the shoulder, just take wherever you want your measurement to be. So right now from my armhole, right from my shoulder, divide by 2, I want to add, I'm adding 9 inches. Okay, I want I want this sleeve to be only 9 inches. Okay, I don't want it too long. Okay, so from my shoulder I have 9 inches. After dividing my shoulder, divide by 2. Okay, so if I place my tape on my shoulder naturally, then I drop at 9 inches. I believe you understand that. So right now on this part I have my sleeve. I'll place my tape and I'll take the measurement of what I have to the center front. So you can see I have 16.5. So I'll transfer this 16.5 right on the chest line. So I'll make a mark of 16.5. So at this chest line, I'm going to draw a line connecting the shoulder line. Okay, that will serve as where my kimono sleeve will be. So right now from this shoulder, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to recreate my shoulder drop. So now I've recreated my shoulder drop, and I'm using a different marker right now to draw the line all the way to the 3 inches neckline. Can you see that? All right, so having done this, the next thing I'm going to do is to go over to the hip. The largest part of my body is the hip. So I'm going to take the measurement of my largest part of the body, which is the hip. Okay, so if your bust is the largest part of your body, you take the measurement of the largest part of your body on the chest line, if it is your bust. Okay, if it's your hip, then you take your hip. So the largest part of my body is the hip, and my hip circumference is 46. I divided it by 4. I have 11.5. So I'll quickly make a mark of 11.5 on this part. And because this is a boo-boo kimono, you can see is really large, so I'm going to add I'm adding 3 inches to it. Okay, so I added 3 inches more allowance to my hip. So I'm going to take the measurement of what I have, my hip together with the 3 inches I added. So I have 14.5 inches. So I'm going to take this 14.5 inches marking. I'm going to mark the 14.5 inches right down on the full length of this garment. Okay, so I'm going to connect it with a straight ruler. Okay, from the full length, what I have on the hip, I transferred it to the full length with a straight ruler. I will come over to the waistline. I'll also transfer 14.5. I'll make a mark of 14.5, and I'll also transfer from the hip to the waist the same with a straight ruler. Okay, all right, so right now I'll also come to the chest and transfer the 14.5. Okay, so you can see what I have on the chest. So I will also draw this line up to the chest. So you can see I have straight line all through the way. So I'm going to divide the distance between the chest and the waist. Okay, so I will take the full length of the chest and the waist is 9 inches, and half the midpoint of the distance between the chest and the waist is 4.5. Okay, so at this point of 4.5 right now, I'm going to place my curve rule this way. Okay, but before I do that, I need to also come down. I'm coming down from the point of this the point I have the length of my sleeve, which I draw from the shoulder to the chest line. I will first of all come down by 2 inches. Okay, so I will extend this line from the length of the sleeve to 2 inches. So having done that, I will now connect. Okay, so I will now place my rule to this point of the half of the armhole, and I'll connect. Can you see my connection right now? Okay, so right now, all right, so you can see what I have right now. I've connected it. I dropped by 2 inches, so this is 2 inches, and I shared the half, what I have in between the chest and the waist, into 2 to find the midpoint before I connect with my curve. So right now I'm going to extend my sleeve length with 1 inch. Okay, I'm extending it with 1 inch, just a little with 1 inch. The reason is because it doesn't need to be straight. Okay, the sleeve does not need to be straight, because after joining it, you find out that the under part becomes longer than the upper part. The upper part will be going up. So I'm adding 1 inch extension. This is 1 inch extension. I'll connect this 1 inch extension all the way from my shoulder drop down. I'm using a red marker, okay, to connect that. So you can see what I have in here. So I'm connecting it right to the curve I have there. So now I'm done with the sleeve and I'm done with the bodies. So the next thing I want to do right now is the neckline. For this neckline, because I have a placket, I have a 2 inches placket which will be in this neckline. So normally my neckline is supposed to be 4 inches. I'm supposed to take 4 inches normally, but because I'm adding a 2 inches placket which will cover up after I must have stitched in, as you can see in that picture, so I'll be adding that 2 extra inches. So my neckline width now is going to be 6 inches. So I'll be making a mark of 6 inches on this red line. And coming over to the neckline depth, I'm going to take a neckline depth of 8 inches. And I'm going to connect with my curve ruler. Okay, so you can see my pattern master. I'll be placing my pattern master this other way to connect. Okay, it's a V neckline, but it's not going to be sharp, so it's going to be a little bit curvy. Okay, so I just want to find the part that will suit in properly. Okay, so let me use this part. I think it's better. Okay, so I keep adjusting to get a better V. So you can see what I have right now. So the neckline here is 6 inches because of the placket, and the depth here is 8 inches. You can see that. All right, so now you can see what I have on my pattern right now for the kimono. We are almost done, but the next thing remaining is the pocket you see in there. So that pocket you are seeing in there, this is where I have my waist. So I'm going to come in from the side. I'm coming in here by 3.5 inches, and at this point of 3.5 inches, I'll also come down by 3 inches. Okay, so let me take the measurement of the 3.5 inches again, so you can see where my pocket is going to start. So I have the pocket length. I'm making use of a pocket length of 9. I'm taking of 8 inches. Sorry, I'll be making a use of 8 inches right here. Okay, so at this point of 8 inches pocket, I'll be coming down by 3 inches again. So I'll be making my pocket. This is my pocket. It's really a large pocket. Okay, so my pocket length, I'm taking a pocket length of 9 inches. Okay, so 8 inches by 9 inches, that's my pocket length. Okay, so I'll come over to this point and make a mark of 3.5 to get a straight line. So I'm going to mark my pocket. So from this point of 9 inches, I'll come in again by 8 inches, and I'll also place my 9. I have 9 inches there, so I should also have 9 inches there. So this is the point of my 9 inches. So I'll be drawing my line right now, okay, at 9 inches. Okay, then I'll connect right to this point. Can you see? So this is the pocket right now. That is where I have my pocket. So the pocket size I have right here is 9 inches by depth and 8 inches by width. So I will not be tracing this pocket. All I'll need to do is on my fabric, I'll be adding the seam allowances. I'll be adding 1 inch to turn it turn it and add 0.5. So I'll be adding 1.5 inches to 9 inches, that is 10.5 inches. Then I'll be adding 1 inch to 8 inches, that is 9 inches on my fabric. These are the seam allowances. So right now I'm going to cut. I'm cutting off because we are through. Like I told you, it's a simple outfit. It's a simple outfit. By right, I'm not supposed to draft, but then I love to have my draft things, okay, so as to get a perfect fit. Okay, there's no guesswork here. So once you draft, you make your corrections right on paper, and you come out with a very beautiful outfit. Okay, so I just cut through the neckline right now. Okay, then I'll cut through the shoulder seam line. Can you see? Then I'm going to cut. All right, people, so you can see I'm done cutting the boo-boo right now on paper, and this is exactly what you're expected to cut on fabric. Okay, so right now I'm going to cut exactly what I have here on my fabric, so keep watching. So cutting on our fabric right now, I'm going to make use of this Ankara fabric, and this Ankara fabric I have in here is 2.5 yards. Okay, so please try and get yourself 2.5 yards, so you can see the 2.5 yards of Ankara. Okay, so right now I'm folding this Ankara into two this way. Can you see that this part is on fold right now, and I have the other side open? Then I'm going to also fold it again. I'm going to bring back the open part of this Ankara to meet the part that is folded. Can you see? This is the open part and is meeting the part that is folded. Then I'm going to bring this part, okay, the two folded parts. Okay, so in here I have two folded parts. Why am I having these two folded parts? Remember, we cut this pattern for front and back, so it means the front and back is going to be on fold. Both the front and the back is on fold. So I have the front and back on fold. This is what I mean. If you look in here, you can see it's folded. Can you see? All right, so having done that, make sure you arrange it properly also. It needs to be arranged properly. So right now I'm going to place my pattern. Okay, I'm placing my pattern in this manner. Okay, so I'm going to place, remember, no seam allowance has been added. So because this part is on fold, let me show you the fold sign. This is the fold sign. So because this part is on fold right now, so I will just dress it. Okay, I'm not adding any seam allowance to it, so I'm going to dress it to this point. And once I do that, I'll hold it down with my pin. Can you see? I will hold it exactly at that point with my pin. Okay, so all right, so right now you can see the pocket has been cut, and like I told you, I added both the seam allowances for the width and for the depth. Okay, and I cut two of it because I'm going to have one at the right side and the other at the left side. So I have two pockets in here. Then coming over to the placket, you can. All right, people, so right now I'm done cutting out my fabric, and I've sprayed my fabric. You can see the V line, how it's looking right away. So I have my placket in here for the front. I have two of them, and these two of them, one measures by length 15 inches and the width 2.5 inches. I'm making it 2.5 inches because I need my placket to be bold. I really need it to look bold and nice. But you can take the width of 2 inches or 1.5 as you desire. So the 2.5 inches I have here is including the half-inch seam allowance. After stitching the half-inch, I'll be left with 2 inches for that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do right now, you can see I ested it as well. Okay, make sure you este. And make sure you keep it on fold. You can see it's on fold before I measure the 2.5 inches. So right now I'm going to come down from my V neckline. The ending point, I'm coming down by 1/2 inch. So this 1/2 inch, I'm going to make this mark of 1/2 inch. I'm going to extend the line of this 1/2 inch. I'm going to spread it across. You can see my line of extension. So I'm going to identify the center point as well. You can see my center point right here. Okay, I'm having like a cross in here. Why did I do that? Remember, I have my placket as 2.5. So if I take away 1/2 inch, I'll be left with 2 inches. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to take 1 inch this way. Can you see? And I'm going to take the measurement of 1 inch that way. Okay, so 1 inch from the center, 1 inch from the center, everything will be 2 inches. So this 2 inches is the space at which these two plackets is going to turn after stitching. You will see how we are going to do that. So right now I'm going to place one of my plackets right now. I'm placing the right side of it. And this right side of it I'm placing, you can see I'm not placing starting from this point. If I do that, you can see I will be shorting part of my fabric. So I will extend it to cover up. You can see how it's covering up. That is how you expected to do it. So it rhymes to the shoulder slope. So having done that, I'm going to keep it at this point. Can you see? So having fixed it at this point right now, I will keep I'll place this to make sure I have my pin. Okay, so I'm going to, before I do that, I will be coming in by 0.5. okay, that is where for my seam allowance I'm going to come in from that 1 inch mark. I will come in by 0.5. okay, so the 0.5 is exactly where I'm going to place. Can you see? I'm placing the tip because when I seam right now with 0.5, it will come back to the 1 inch. Okay, so I will be placing my pin right where I need to stop. Okay, so you can see where I have my pin right now. That is where I'm going to stop my stitches. Okay, so right now I'll be going to my machine and I'm going to stitch at 0.5. I'll be stitching from this point at 0.5, then I'll end right at this point. And once I end right from this point, the measurement from the center to here will exactly be at 1 inch. So let me just take, all right, so you can see where I have my pin. I started up my pin, so I'll just make sure I pin this at 0.5. okay, I'll take the measurement of 0.5 and end my placket. I believe you understand what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to sew right now on my machine at 0.5 and I will terminate at this point. I have my pin stitching at 0.5 right now, and I stopped exactly where I have my pin. Okay, so if I have to take the measurement from this center neckline, which I measured as 1 inch, you can see I have it back as 1 inch. Can you see? I have it back as 1 inch. So that is what you're expected to do. So no matter the width you want to make use, whatever width you want to, if you want to make use of 1 inch, like I have 2 inches there, that is how I want my placket size to be. So since I have 2 inches, you can see I came to the center and I shared 1 inch, 1 inch. Altogether 2 inches. If you are making use of 1 inch, then you will share 0.5, 0.5. That is what you expected to have. So right now I'm going to go over to this other side of it, and coming over to this other side of it, I'm also going to take my measurement of 1/2 inch starting from the center point. That is where I need this placket to stop also. So right now I'm not going to start from the beginning like I did in the other one. For this one, I'm going to make a mark of 1 inch. I'm going to make a mark of 1 inch from this point. You can see my 1 inch point, and I will start placing my placket right from the 1 inch, and I'll allow it to pass the 0.5 mark. Can you see? So I'll allow it to pass the 0.5 mark. Then I'm going to put my pin exactly at the 0.5, which I came down with. So I have my pin at this point. Can you see? I have, that is where I will stop my stitches. So I will just adjust it to the neckline. Can you see? Just as I did on this other one. So I also go to my machine right now. You can see what I'm having right here. That's what you expected to have if you are making use of 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to my machine now. I'm going to sew at 0.5 and I'm going to stop right on this point. So once I stop right on this point, the measurement I'm expected to have from this point to this point is 2 inches. To enable this 2 inches placket to go right into this space. So let me stitch it and bring it for you to see. Alright, right now I'm done stitching and I want to remove my pins as well. Okay, so but before I take away my pins, I want to show you where I stopped my stitching. You can see I stopped exactly where I have my pin. That is from the center point. I marked 0.5 and stopped my placket. The same thing, I stop at 0.5. okay, remember that from the center I took the measurement of 1 inch. Okay, so at the point I stop my stitching to this stitching now should be 2 inches because of the placket size. The placket size minus the seam allowance is 2 inches, and this is 2 inches as well. You can see that. Okay, that is to enable this placket when folding it. Let me show you what we mean right now. When folding it, it needs to fall into these 2 inches. Can you see? This one also, when they go in, they will fall in place. So right now, the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make a notch following this line. Can you see? So I'm going to make my notch right now on this point, exactly on a straight line, stopping at that line. Can you see? I stopped exactly at the stitching line. And coming over to this part, I'm going to also make a notch. Okay, starting right from this point, stopping exactly at it. Please don't exceed the stitching line. Okay, all right. So having done that right now, the next thing I'm going to do is either you top stitch or you iron. Okay, whichever way, but I'll just iron it right now. I'm ironing it right now to demonstrate to you how this placket will be sewn right away. Okay, so I'll just give it a good press. As you can see, I'll just give it a good press. Can you see that? Okay, so for this part, I'll also flip it to this direction. Okay, and I'll also give it a good press. Can you see that? Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to turn it around. So now I've turned it around. You can see what I have right here. I have the longer placket below and the upper placket above. Okay, so and at this point I'm going to lift the two up. You can see that space I'm talking about. You can see that 2 inches space which we notched. Okay, so this 2 inches space that we notched right now, I'm going to place it right on top and I'm going to stitch. So I'll just use my pin right now to hold it. Okay, so you can see how I crossed it. The shorter one is on top of the longer one. I have the shorter placket on top of the longer one. Then I'll secure with my pin first. I'm securing only the placket. You can see that. So but below it you'll be seeing the notch. Can you see the notch? So I'll quickly place this notch. I'm placing it this way and I'm going right to my machine. I'm going to stitch exactly. All right, so you can see I've turned it and now I want to pin it down. Okay, so you can see that top stitching we made. I'm going to use my pin to hold it because I'm going to my machine right away to seam from this point to this point to hold the placket in place. You can see that I have pinned it, that top stitching. We are going to use it to hold the placket in place. So right now I'll turn to the front of the placket. I will turn the neckline. You can see how it's looking already. Can you see? So that's why I told you you need 2 inches. The placket size is 2 inches. That is why we measured. You can see it's 2 inches. It needs to fit into these 2 inches. It needs to fit into these 2 inches. If you don't have 2 inches at this point, you'll be having a lot of shortage for this placket to enter. You can see the placket is 2 inches, 2 inches. So at this point it's entering, it needs to be 2 inches. Please take note. So whatever distance you are using, width you are using for your placket, if you are using 1 inch after seaming, this distance from the center neckline will be 1 inch. That is half an inch, half an inch. You understand? All right, so right now I'm going right to my machine and I'll just go to the back. You can see how the back is looking. The longer one is below, the shorter one is above. Then lifting it up, you can see my pin. So I'm going to run my stitches right here right away. All right, beautiful people, so at this point you can see what I have for the placket. Okay, you can see the back. Okay, you can see I lifted it and I top stitched there. Okay, so that's what you expected to have. Okay, so right now I'm going to trim up the excesses. You can see this part is longer, so I'll just follow up the line and trim up the excess. Can you see? I'll also follow up the line and trim off the excess. You can see that. Okay, let me match the two to make sure they are equal. You can see that. All right, so next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to top stitch. Okay, I will top stitch on top. I'll take my top stitching this way. Once I get to this four corner junction, I'll go this way, go this way. Okay, let me top stitch right now. All right, people, so now you can see I'm done top stitching right now. I ran my top stitches all the way. I came over this way to that way. So you can see what I have right now for the placket on the V neckline. So right now, the next thing I want to do right away is to merge the two together. Remember, the front and the back are the same, so I'm going to merge the two together. Okay, so once I merge them together, shoulder to shoulder, can you see that? So I'm going to my machine right now and I'm going to stitch at 0.5 to the end. I'll also stitch at 0.5 to the end. Okay, then after that, then we are going to do the turn up. We are almost done with our boo-boo or our kimono right away. Okay, so right now I'll be cutting off this excess. I'll cut it in this direction to rhyme with what I have here. I'll just trim it nicely. Okay, all right, so that is it. Okay, so let me go and run my stitches right here. All right, so now you can see I'm done stitching the two together. So right now that I'm done stitching the two together, I'm going to open it up and give it a good press because I need it to relax. So I'm opening the seams together. Okay, I need to open the seam and iron it out well. Okay, so if you have a steam iron, you can as well use to make it easier for you because you need it to lie nice and all right, so you need it to lie nice and flat. So you open it, you iron it open. Can you see? All right, so I'll also do the same. I'm going to iron open this other side as well. Okay, all right, so having done that, the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to work on the turn up. I'm working on the turn up right now. So for the turn up right now, what I'm going to do is to take the measurement. I'm going to take the full measurement of the sleeve right away. Okay, all right, so now I'm done with this. So I'm taking the full measurement of the sleeve. From this point to this point, I'll be taking the measurement that will help me to determine the length. You can see I have 19 inches from this point to this point, including the seam allowance. I have 19 inches. You can see that. Okay, so right now I'm going to get my turn up. So I'm making use of this fabric for the turn up, and as you can see, the turn up right away is unfold. So this turn up, I'm making use of the width of 3 inches and 3.5 inches, and I'm going to take the length at exactly 19 inches. So I'll be cutting it off at 19 inches right away. Okay, so I'll place my tape at the beginning and I'm going to cut off at 19 inches. You can see, because that is the measurement we had, 19 inches. Okay, so I'll also get the other part of the turn up, okay, which is also 3.5 inches. Okay, so I'll quickly place the already cut 19 inches on this new one, and I'm going to cut out 19 inches. That is for the two. I believe you understand that. So right now I'm bringing back my sleeve. Okay, that's the part of my kimono sleeve. So I will be placing, this is the right side. Can you see the right side? And this is the wrong side. The wrong side is where we have our stitches. The right side, you can see that. So I'll be turning to the wrong side. You can see me turn to the wrong side. So I'm going to place wrong side to right side. Can you see? So I'm going to stitch at 0.5 inch. So I'll hold down with my pin again. I'm going to sew at exactly 0.5 to the end. And having done that, this is what you're expected to do at the end of your seaming. This is what you'll be having for your turn up. Can you see? So it's going to turn up to the right side. Can you see that? So that's what we are expected to have. So let me quickly go to my machine and run my stitches at 0.5. Then I'll bring it for you to see. Alright, so you can see I've stitched. You can see what I told you. I placed right side to wrong side, and I stitched at 0.5. Can you see my stitching at 0.5 for the turn up? Okay, so right now the next thing I want to do now is to top stitch. Okay, because this part, you see this part needs to fall. Alright, so now you can see I've top stitched. Sorry, I have sewn the two together. You can see I placed right side to the wrong side. Okay, so because it's going to turn up this way, so since it's going to turn up this way, okay, I need to top stitch on top of this part. Okay, so I'll be placing the seam. I'll be placing this seam this way. Can you see how I placed it? And I'll go to my machine right now, top stitch, to enable this part to fall flat. Top stitching means stitching on top of a stitch. Okay, you can see I've already stitched this already. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to lie this part on this part. Once I lie it, I will now turn over here, go to my machine and run a tiny closer stitch to enable this part to fall well stitched. Sorry, I have sewn the two together. You can see I placed right side to the wrong side. Okay, so because it's going to turn up this way, so since it's going to turn up this way, okay, I need to top stitch on top of this part. Okay, so I'll be placing the seam. I'll be placing this seam this way. Can you see how I placed it? And I'll go to my machine right now, top stitch, to enable this part to fall flat. Top stitching means stitching on top of a stitch. Okay, you can see I've already stitched this already. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to lie this part on this part. Once I lie it, I will now turn over here, go to my machine and run a tiny closer stitch to enable this part to fall well on this. Now I have my turn up properly in place. Okay, so that's how I'm going to turn it up right away. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Can you see? That's the turn up. So now the next thing I want to do right away is to identify the front and the back. You know, the two of them are the same neckline, so I'm going to choose which part I want as my front and which part I want as my back. So I'll be choosing this part here because they are the same. So I'm going to open it up to fix my pocket. Okay, so remember that my pocket has been cut, and now I want to place it on the fabric. So I'll be going to the neckline to take my measurements. Okay, so remember at the neckline I took my waist measurement right from the neckline, tip of my neckline. I believe you are seeing where I'm starting my measurement. I'm starting my measurement right from this seam line. You can see from the seam line. Okay, so I'm going to spread my garments apart, and I'll take the measurement from the tip to my waistline. Okay, so my waistline in here is 18 inches. So at this point of 18 inches, I'm going to come down by 3 inches from the 18 inches. Okay, just as I did in my drafting. And from the side, I will come in from the side with 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to come in from the side with 4 inches at exactly 18 inches. So I will just rule a line right away. From these 3 inches I came down, I'll just rule a little line. That is where my pocket is going to start. So right now I've already cut my pocket, and I'll be placing this pocket right from this point. Can you see? Remember the pocket, I took the measurement of my pocket as 11.5 by 9.5. Okay, of which I'll be using 1 inch. I'll be folding in 1 inch. Okay, I'll be going to my machine to run my stitch for my pocket. Then the remaining part I'll be placing it down here. So I'll be making from this point right now. After folding 1 inch, I have 10.5 inches. So at this point of 10.5 inches, I'll come in by 4 inches again. Okay, so that is the guideline for where I have to fix my pocket. So right now I'm going to my machine. I'm going to sew this on top at 1 inch. I'm going to run a 1 inch stitch. Okay, let me do that first, then we'll start folding. Can you see it has been stitched? Okay, at 1 inch. You can see that is the stitching. So I'll be placing it right from the marks I made. Remember, I took my measurement from this point. After I came down by 3 inches from my waist, I took 4 inches, and I also took 4 inches. So I'll be placing this pocket starting right from this line. So I'm going to align this pocket starting right from this line. Can you see? Right now, I'm going to my machine right now, and I'll be folding it in and sew it the 4 corners as well. Okay, so I'll go to my machine right now. This is what I expect to do. I'll fold in at 0.5. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm folding it at 0.5. So at 0.5, this is what I expect to sew. Okay, so I'll just run my stitches closely at 0.5. So I'll just pin it up at 0.5. Make sure you have it at 0.5 inch. Okay, 0.5 inch. Can you see? And make sure you have it at the proper place. So you can see what I have right now. So I'll come over this part. I'll also fold. I'll fold. You can see how my folding is at 0.5. That's what I will do all through, okay, till I go around the pocket. So I'll go to my machine right now. I'll be stitching this way. Once I reach, I'll come over here to this part. So I will do that for this part. I'll also do the same process. Whatever thing I did there, I'll also do the other part of the pocket. All right, so we are gradually coming to the end of this kimono gown with v neckline and placket. Okay, so you can see I'm done fixing my pocket right now. You can see the pocket right away. I also did that for the other side. You can see the pocket has been fixed. So the next thing we want to do right now, I'm going to turn the back of it and close it up. Okay, so I'll quickly merge them together. But before I do that, remember I have my turn up. Okay, so you need to turn up. Okay, so I'm going to turn up in this manner. Okay, so you can see I gave like 1 point from my top stitching. I gave like 0.5, okay, before I turn up. Okay, so I'm going to turn up at 0.5. I'll just give a little space at 0.5. You can see my top stitch and turning at 0.5. Can you see? So once I do that right now, the next thing I'll be doing is to merge the two together. Okay, so I'm going to merge the two together. So once I merge the two together right now, still at 0.5, then I will bring everything together and I'm going to stitch at 0.5 as well. I'll do that to the end of this. Then I'll also do for the other side. I will hem, okay, then I'll bring it for you to see. So you can see I'm done with the kimono right now. Okay, so you can see how beautiful it's looking. You can see the plackets well fixed. You can see with the V shape and the plackets as well. Then you can see the turn up. Okay, the turn up, I've given it a good press at this point, and the pockets are in place as well. Okay, so the front, the pocket will now tell you, we identify the front when you wear it. Okay, then I've also hemmed the down part of it. So I'm going to wear it right now for you to see how beautiful it looks on the body. All right, beautiful people, so you can see the finished outlook of the boo-boo with V neckline and plackets. And you see how it's looking so very nice and well fixed. You can see these two pockets, front pockets. Okay, you can see the back, the turn-ups, how relaxed it's looking and all that. Okay, so if you enjoy this content, please turn on your notification bell, hit the subscribe button, like this video, share to family and friends, drop your suggestions on the suggestions box, your comments as well. Okay, and for those who are new to who has been with Simbright Fashion Academy, thank you very much for all your subscriptions. Keep following Simbright Fashion Academy each week. Okay, see you in my next video. Bye.